Well, guys, just released a video about Japan. A bunch of pictures there. A good slideshow, I think. But maybe some of those pictures need explanation. I mean, some of those monuments look very weird to me, but if you take them as a natural stone, carving from a natural stone, right? But if you take them as a concrete, everything's could be easily explained, right? All those forms and I mean the ancient constructors, engineers were a lot smarter than we think, and I used to think by myself. So, but anyways, we've seen a bunch of megalithic blocks, but those blocks in Japan are very huge, as you can see. So, in comparison to what we see in Peru, it's pretty much the same. Pretty much the same. And some of those technological devices also very interesting. I mean, if you take this as a concrete, it's okay, right? And it could be concrete because it looks like concrete, right? All those caves could be also cut with instruments. I mean, this is not very hard to do, right? But if you have it as a concrete, you do it in a form or on mechanism or something, or some design, and you make the form and the shape whatever you want it to be, right? Like panels and stuff like this, and blocks, which maybe right now looking weird, but if you see in the whole construction, it's okay, because it's just a part of maybe some, some bunker or whatever. So I think it's a very good topic actually that I brought it up, because Japan was, misrepresented or not presented at all. But today I wanted to talk about some different stuff. I mean, you know about St. Petersburg and Winter Palace and a bunch of different stuff, but this is the place I've been when I was in St. Petersburg. And actually, I had that in my mind to, check the old pictures with the new ones, and as you can see, the height of a person and these stairs here, is pretty much the same, but even the construction is a little bit higher, right? Also, what we can see here is we can see a full size first floor with no underground or basement windows, whatever. And this is like the beginning of 19th century, right? And this is how it is right now. Look at it. So the first floor that we saw on that picture is actually right now here. So it's half buried, at least half buried, right? Okay. What I'm trying to say is that when you look at the relativeness of the person right now and the columns and the stairs here that we saw, it looks like a person is a lot taller than the column. So that actually shows that each and every square feet on this near this building is buried with at least 1.5 meter or 5 feet of dirt and mud, right? And again, we see this. This is the let's see. I don't know what's happening. The summer park, so-called Letny Sad, summer garden, Letny garden. We also see that the height, this fence is a lot higher than the height of these people here, right? And this is how it looks today. So right now we are taller than the height of the fence. So it was like this before, and now it's like this. So it's also about 4 feet missing. Okay, so it's buried for 5 or 4 feet at least since then, since the beginning of 19th century. This is kind of proves that the flood was in the 1840s, right? Okay, also this is so-called tower, they call it the Jubel Tower, and it was supposed to be at the Exposition, right? Let's see. Let me try to tell you what I mean. If we go to Google, and just what do? We put the picture in the search and see what it actually is. It's Panama Pacific International Exposition. Okay, visually similar pictures. So the similar picture is here, the only one that shows the exact similarity. We go there and it says it's Panama Pacific Exposition. Demolition of Italian Tower at Panama Pacific International Exposition, San Francisco, 1915. Okay. So why is it supposed to be demolished? It was a temporary construction, right? Maybe, who knows? But maybe it was a harvesting device or some type of device. But what we see right here is the pictures from it. So this is probably the tower that we saw. But some people called it this tower the Jewel Tower. And I tried to compare it and it was looking different. So right now what we see here is we're not supposed to trust the names. We're supposed to check them by ourselves, and I showed you the way I do it. So you as well do your Google search when you post something, like people post in Tartarian building and don't even understand it, that they don't even fit in the timeline of Tartarian existence, right? So very interesting, right? And again, what I was doing today is I was actually walking nearby I don't know why it's not showing us. Let me show it like this.
This is how they trying to hide what they excavated.
So this is the famous Polytechnical Museum.
The windows are still
We saw that picture a bunch
bridge
of
or something.
times, and you probably recognize this building. So this is what they did right now. They did this little pedestrian bridge, and they did little like a circus arena here or something like this, so people can like sit and drink some beer, I think, and maybe not only beer, of course, but anything. Just sit and look at it, and so when you want to hide something in the plain sight, just hide it in the plain sight, and nobody will understand what the hell is going on. So if you never researched this place and you never knew it was excavated like this, when you see this facade looking like this, you probably take it as it was built like this, and no one would probably ask for any explanation. All right. So they totally reconstructed it, and if you cross the street, you see the similar type of buildings across the street. They also have buried first floors, which are right now having those windows sticking out, so they can get some air there. Obviously, it's not the way they built, it's just the way we maintain those buildings, because it's very expensive. Real estate in Moscow is center of city, so probably just imagine how much would it cost not to use it. So they use it, of course, and they use those windows also. They figured out how to do it with the less problems, and they did it like this exactly. So little small windows and a little roof on the top, so the water won't just flush in. And look, it's a little bit over the pavement, so the water also cannot flood in. So this is very expensive to do such a restoration, of course, but they did it just not to have any problems. The church nearby didn't do it like this. They did it the cheap way, and look at some windows are just bricked up with marble or some sandstone. I don't know, just ugly sandstone. Look at it. It's not original, of course. Just they brought the columns a little bit on and put them on this sandstone here. Probably they were lower before their construction. Look at this, 1825, 1837 also buried windows. So this is the period that probably happened after 1825. That's why I'm researching the period between 1820 and the 1840s. So this is the way to figure out what actually happened. And all the people that telling you, like, look at 1812 is okay just to look at it, but it's not the correct time. There's a bunch of strange and weird stuff that was in 1812, but still nothing like a flood or something like that. Only wars. So wars could be the start of the process, and maybe some reaction on some processes, but they cannot just do the flood that I'm talking about. And of course, people talking about the strength of the flood. So flood cannot, if it's even a mud flood, a mud flow, or whatever, mudslide, it usually doesn't even give any damage to the bricks, to the house on bricks, on foundations. It usually breaks and damages the wooden houses, and as we can see, those houses are all made from bricks. And they're huge, so they cannot be damaged. So the explanation that says that mud flood cannot be just possible because it would be damaging the houses, you just don't know what you're talking about, right? It's not mountains, it's valleys. It doesn't have any flow. It's probably just raising the level, like just a fountain or something like this. But with the simultaneous transition of the flow in each and every side in circle ways, So it's not like the flow from the mountain, which is speeding up towards the lowest point. It obviously has some elevation, some hills, but not as much as you can have in Switzerland or, I don't know, China when we see this flow. This is not like this. This is the valley, and most of the cities that we see buried like this are in the valleys, so it doesn't even explain with liquefaction or anything like this. Or because liquefaction also needs a flow. If you don't have a flow, you won't be, possibly to liquefy the area, and only if you have it from below. So it's like when you have some radius, and inside this radius, inside this diameter, everything is, liquefies. It's the only possible way. But can it be simultaneous, and can it, can it like descend the level of each and every building simultaneously, so they won't be cracking in the walls and foundations? Probably not. Probably not. I don't know. But looks like not. Because what liquefaction examples that we saw in the presentation of not John Levy, but Conspiracy R Us, he only showed us the liquefaction from with the wooden houses and with the flow. No liquefactions of diameters or something like this when we see simultaneous sinking on each and every building. We see some fallen, leaning houses and, diving inside the flow. Some cars dipping their noses, and the strange thing is that, the back of a car is sticking, so it's not liquefied, and the front of a car is moved with the liquefaction flow. Okay, so this cannot be working with the bricks and houses from the stones, of course. Okay, so I don't know if you understood what building actually that was, but as long as we hear how, just open the picture of it. Yeah, this is the building. Everybody saw those pictures, guys. If you haven't seen these pictures, you're probably missing something. So this is the flow that we're talking about. It was excavated, and even below they had something, so they didn't, dip in it more. This is the level that it was. Right now, this is the pavement level, right? The bridge for pedestrian bridge, whatever you call it. It's over here, on this level. So just imagine how deep it is. Okay. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.